why even? I'm not even gonna play with calls. I'm just waiting for the drop. But you can, people made money off the calls going back to VWAP. It's just that when it's near VWAP, like let me share. Where's not this? I'm gonna share the Webull. When it's near VWAP, it's just too risky, man. It's not worth it. Let's go back to yesterday. It was actually hugging it for a while yesterday too. A lot of chop in this area until it finally decided to drop. This is 21st. Okay, so like here. What was that bottom at? Was it here? Yeah, 951, right? Yeah. So initially when it bottomed here, I was out. I was out probably like around here. I knew because once I saw these bounces, I said, okay, we're going back
Yeah,
up.
and I think I probably
Yes,
called
sir.
that too. I was like, yo, we're bottoming out.
Right. For nine, this is 3 minutes. So, it's about 9 minutes of bouncing, 12 minutes really. It dipped a little below, and then after that, it just slingshot it. On that run, I did not enter. I could have, but I said, nah, I don't trust it. Let's see if the nine rejects. The nine didn't reject. The 20 somewhat rejected, but it was strong for a while. Once we got here we are at VWAP. The orange line is VWAP. So I'm like, it doesn't look too strong. So I saw the 200 here. I said, if we break the 200, then I'll feel comfortable with calls. It did
Exactly.
not break it. It rejected it here, back to VWAP, bounced again, rejected it there. And after it rejected the 200 that second time, I drew my trend line again. I said, okay, let's see if we actually try to retest it for a third time. Never retested because the EMA9 dropped below the 50 this time, as well as the 20. It tried one more time, trust the trend line, and then it was over. It just walked it down pretty much all day. A lot of chop here, and then finally around what's this 248, we had another EMA 50 retest at that
Okay.
960 level.
So right where you're at, this is
Mm-hmm.
where I was getting killed. So
Mm.
I went ahead and I was like, so if you look at those three red bars like prior to, like I was just in
Right
and out of
here.
trades. Like, yeah, I was just like, all right, trade it, boom, made money. Next candle, trade it, boom, made money. Next candle, oh shit, start
Got him.
reversing on me. And then so for that to go all the way up to the 50, I was stupid. Yo, I was down like $10,000.
Wow.
Yeah, man. And thank God, as you see, like I held on and then I was able to get out like even with a profit. But
Right.
like I said, this is something I need to work on where,
So where you were in puts here?
yeah. So I was hitting puts like, so each one of those bars, I was doing a
Mm-hmm.
trade. And then I got into that last one, that green bar right there. And then it just reversed on me and
Mm.
I just didn't sell in time. You see how big that next bar was.
So you got in where? Here?
I got in here, so I traded there. So I was in and out right there. Then the
Right.
next candle, I did another trade in and out within that same candle.
Okay.
Next trade in and out within that same candle.
Right.
Next candle got in and then it went against me and
See, like that, you had pretty much. It's not really three crows, but it's one, two, three. Okay, it's gotta hit support, and plus your StochRSI is too low already. So you've already made your bread off of this drop here. This cross is what you
yep.
made your money off of. You made your money. It's bottomed out. Let it come back, because at this point your StochRSI is bottomed out. Your MACD is pretty wide. It needs to come back a little bit. And this is the 3 minute. Now this is the 15. I would say, okay, you might have some more time for the more drop. But the three, the one, the two, they're up and down all day. So it's only a matter of time before it's gonna cross back. And as
And
soon as you enter, you
here's my
see this
stupidity.
cross? The cross is right here. Once that cross happens, you're going up. So right there, I would say this should have been your last trade and just let it come back up again and wait for the drop. Wait for it to come up here again. Once it gets up there and you see that 50 rejecting, now it's and the EMA 920 cross rejected. The 50 rejected the candle, the EMA 9, EMA 20 cross rejected, and now boom, here we go, flush to 940. That was
Now,
a perfect
this
trade.
this is what I was like nervous about because I was thinking about cost averaging down like once we got to that 50, but like I said, man, I'm still trying to pick the strategy up. So I like the main thing I've been shorting the pop. So as soon as we really got back to the 8 Emma, I'm like,
Hmm.
all right, let's see. I'm like, if this doesn't hold here, we go back down. But how do you know if you see like this is a prime example? Look, it broke the 8, it broke the 20. It went all the way up to like the 50. How you know it's really going to like stop there and then consistently start heading back down? I see that the stock RSI was
The
maxed.
cross. The
Yeah.
cross is key. The max, it's up here maxed out, and the cross. Whenever this crosses, you're going down. Cross here, small drop. Two
So this is why
candles.
I'm happy I'm recording this because like now like
Cross
I want to go
here.
back and watch this like
Another cross here. Guaranteed drop.
ooh.
Cross here. You're going up. I can do this. You can look at this all day. Another when that purple K line crosses the D line, you're going down. How far down you're going depends on the next support level, the next EMA. In this case, there wasn't much there, so that was a nice ride from 974 to 960 within 9 minutes on that, and you didn't even bottom out yet. But when this K line crosses, and you also see the MACD cross rejection there too, it rejected the cross there as well as StochRSI crossing down, flush. Another one right here. We're rejecting the trend line. We crossed. MACD also crossed. That was powerful. From 980 to 963. $17 move, 12 minutes. But, when these crosses occur, even on the upside, if you want to play with that, crossed up, he went up, what, $10 in 3 minutes? Oh, that's a nice cross. But the StochRSI cross, especially on the 3, what I use it for, is very, very powerful, especially when you combine it with the MACD.
Yeah.
And I live by it. In addition to the EMA crosses, of course, but I live by it.
So one of the things that we were discussing, and I talked to you about this yesterday, Sean, where you say you primarily like while you're trading Tesla, you're also watching QQQ, and
Right.
Chris put me on to watching SPY, which that's what I normally used to watch because like I said, I never traded QQQ, so like I really didn't care about it. But now that you both of you guys have basically put that in my head, that definitely helped out my trades because once I saw like on the quick chart, my SPY and QQQ like dipping or whatever. And I was looking at Tesla and looking at the indicators. I was like, all right, boom, short.
Right. Same thing QQ. Not a lot of EMA9 rejections here at the 10 o'clock area. As the stock RSI is heading down, it cross rejected here. It keeps rejecting that EMA line. It all works in conjunction. And then once it hit that, so I gotta actually make a support there before it bounced. Because we're at the bottom. Or at this point, you should have already sold anyway. But
Yeah.
the same concept applies. Now with QQQ, you're not going to get $10 moves, obviously, but you can get a dollar move, 50-cent move, and in the QQQ world, 50 cent is a whole lot. If you're buying 10 contracts, 20 contracts, you can take 50 cent to a dollar within a few minutes. So
I
it's
may
the
need to
same.
start looking at QQQ because I just think that at least if I'm wrong, like my nuts won't get clipped as bad as it would be like with a Tesla.
Tesla,
Well,
right? Yeah, Tesla is very unforgiving, as they would say. It's
exactly. And
unforgiving.
like I'm gonna say I was super lucky on Friday, and as
Yeah.
soon as like 3 o'clock hit, and I was already up 5,000. I'm like, don't trade anymore. Like, yo, you already won.
Yeah,
Like,
you got
yo,
it.
like
I
you can
mean,
only choose from here.
the good thing for you with that trade was that you were still below VWAP. So you were still, even though the stock RSI had bottomed out, overall we were still below the VWAP. So you
Oh
were
yeah,
still you
like
were still
I was gonna say
somewhat safe in a sense. Now if there was some big massive volume and you blew past VWAP, then I would say okay, you got killed. But being that we were still below VWAP, that RSI was still not fully breaking the EMAs, you ended up okay. But yeah, in the future, I would say when that thing bottoms out, just let it come back up. It's gonna come back down. You just gotta be
hold on.
patient. Just be
I'm
patient.
making an extra note to
It's gonna come back.
watch to see. And that's the thing too, because we just you just covered it on it because I was just like, yeah, I made money here, here, here. And then once again, like that was just I didn't follow the rules because that candle didn't go lower than the previous candle. It kind of just like bottomed it, so I shouldn't have touched it anyway.
What was that? That was which one was that?
It was around like
This
248.
248. Let me go back. 248. This is 13. Tesla, right?
Yeah, Tesla.
48. Was it
Where's the
this guy?
one?
Am I bugging?
Hold on. Actually, let me open up mine because I can I'll pull up my trade time from yesterday. Actually, I think I got them all
Oh,
saved.
yesterday was 21st. I'm not far enough. I'm sorry. No, you're right. You're right. Let me go. 21st. Okay. Drag. There we go. Here we go. Okay,
Yeah, there we go.
Right. It didn't really break that low. 248.
Exactly.
This
So
this one,
that
this
that,
one,
that
this one.
was an
It's
impulse
it
trade.
so the low here was 950.25, 9. So it did by a penny, but that's not a full flush. You want to break. It didn't break. It actually turned green. So, but like I said, for me, like I wouldn't enter that trade number one because this is way too low, and you can see it's gonna come back.
Yep. And see, and like
So just waiting for it to come back up again, short it again. This time you could have made even more money on the way down because this was a
and
short little pop here from
I got
what's
my
that?
signs here trying to listen to your notes
Yeah, not
for StochRSI. I'm like, yo, StochRSI, if it's low, you don't want puts. If it's high, you don't want calls.
right. Let it cross back again. If you missed it, oh well. Let it
Yeah,
come back
missed
up
it, but
again.
wait.
There'll be another opportunity, and you had another opportunity here. What? Not 251. Yeah, and that one you had between 251 to 312. So roughly 20 minutes of puts here. Could have killed that. That's perfect right there. You want that. Roll that all the way down.
Yeah, like I knew it was like a flush day, but I didn't want to stay in trade. Like I said, I'm trying to mimic you the best I can. Where it's just like,
Hmm.
yo, I'm out in the same candle because
Right. No, it's true.
you know,
Even with this, I mean, you got one, two, three. That one you don't want. Four, five. You could have made at least five trades here. 45 trades,
yeah.
definitely. If you just want to ride the whole candle, 45 trades for sure. Yeah.
I think throughout the day in total, it was as far as like buy and sells or whatever, it was like 43 trades or whatever. Because I think the thing showed me like 80 or 70 something, and then like 128 different fills because I was getting some fills when I was selling out at like different prices.
Wow. You were busy.
It was probably my biggest day, and if not, like my second biggest day.
You did
But
great though.
just getting better. Where once, like when we started chopping for a while, like I was just like, all right, 11 o'clock, we chopping. I'm about to just go do some work on my day job, and
Right.
we had the voice chat on the other Discord. I was like, yo, somebody yell something if something happens. But other than that, I'm like, nah, I'm not trading chop. I'm not trading around VWAP. I'm not doing puts above VWAP. I'm not doing calls under it. And I
Right.
think that's been helping lately.
That definitely helps a lot. It keeps just practice that discipline. You might miss some profit, but the majority of it you will catch when there's a move if you just follow that simple rule and just follow these rules, like I said. And the same thing goes for above VWAP. But in this case, it's bearish. Unless you're buying leaps, I wouldn't even touch calls at all until I see some real strength, some real buying, not the fluff that they do. But yeah, this is what I do, man.
All right. Does anybody have any questions for Sean before I start like running through my stuff?
Mine was really more for like your small account, Sean. Because for me, I start off with 10 grand, and it seems like my trading strategy. Because I know, like Steve, like I've been trading with Steve since what? We've been trading since the 12, like the last day of December into the new year.
Hmm.
Uh, so whatchamacall, I start off with 10 grand. I'm trying to make it to 25 before I put another 25 in there to start. Actually, then I have a nice little buffer
Right.
when I go to margin. Like, my problem that I've been running into is because of a small account and you're limited on your trades, my bad trades that I cut are so detrimental to the small account than my gains
Mm,
because I can't continuously trade because once you're out of money on a cash account, you're pretty much done.
you're done for the day, right?
Pretty
Hmm.
much. So I'm trying
Hmm.
to. How has your mentality been from like? Because to me, like trading with like after once you hit 25K and you're able to just, it doesn't even matter if you're in and out and you made only $50 even though you risked 1,000. As long as you're able to continue to do that, you grow that account passively. As long
Right.
as you're quick with your exits and having that ability pretty much to continuously trade on a margin outweighs, in my opinion, the
The cash.
deficit on the cash account being low. So I've been on like a plus 25 minus 2,500 pretty much like deficit. Like I'll gain 5%, next day lose 10%. Then I gain 5%, I'm back at break even. Then I may gain 10% the next day, and then get flushed out and lose 7% the next day, and then like I finish off the week with just 3%. And it's just like
That's tough. For me, I started with this year. I started with I think for the challenge
500.
500.
mhm.
I think I'm at 28, 2,900 now.
Jesus Christ.
But what I do is, as far as risk management, I try not to buy stuff more than like at this point. At first, I was buying stuff, $200, $300 contracts.
Yeah, no, yeah. See, I
You know?
stopped that too. I like with 10 grand, I don't risk more than 10%. So like
Okay.
$1,000 is like my max contract, and if I go $1,000, I'm only doing 1 to 2 depending on what I see as a setup.
I see. See, I don't even do two. I do one contract per trade, just one. So
Okay.
whether it's 700, 1,100, 500, I'm just doing one contract. Once I'm in maybe 10, 20%, I'm usually out. Sometimes you'll get a nice flush where it jumps from, say like this 800, for example. The delta is 10 on this. So if we get a nice drop of like $10 in 3 minutes, that's a quick probably $130. So I'll be in and out of that. Boom, that's one trade. I got, 2 grand left, or 2.5 grand left, whatever it is. I'll look for the next bounce. And I'm trying to make 100 to $200 per trade. I'm not really focusing on trying to get 100% gains. I want to get, 10%, 20% if I can, sometimes 5%, and wherever I land. But my goal really is just trying to get 5% per day. So even some days I may make $80. It may get less than 5%. Some days I may make 400, 300. Like Friday in my small account, I think I made 360 or something like that. It was like 15%, but it was good. So I'm happy with that.
And you're way over your 5% per day goal anyway, so there's no
Right.
point in stressing and pushing.
I'm not gonna force it. I'm already on schedule. I'm ahead of schedule.
Way ahead.
And I'm just gonna keep doing that. $200-300 here and there, whatever I end up. Some days maybe like $150, but it adds up. As the days go by the summertime, you look in your account, you got 100 grand just by doing couple $100 there. As the account grows, I can risk a little more, but right now I'm just sticking with one contract per trade. One contract. I don't even do two. I'm not ready for two yet. Once it hits 5 digits, like you said, you had 10 grand, so maybe you can do two. But for me, I'm only at 20 something, 2,800 something like that. So I'm not there yet. I'm not for Tesla anyway. Now I could go out the money and buy like say some 650s, and they turn 50 to 70 or something like that. But that's not. I don't like being that far out the money.
Yeah, that's too much.
I
That's
agree.
too far.
You
Too
gotta
far.
sit in that for that thing to move.
So for a small account, for example, on Monday, I would recommend. This is kind of high. But this is actually ideal. 900 is perfect. If you want to be in the money, even the 950 is perfect. But for me, on my small account, I'm looking at 800s, maybe the 850, maybe that's still kind of high actually. The spread is tight though. It's only 50-cent spread and a 20-cent
Yeah. Because
delta.
I
So
looking at that, how I would play that, I would be playing either the 830s, the 840s, and 850 probably be my max.
yeah, 850 is kind of high. So maybe even 800 to be safe. But
Yeah,
I'll do this a
depending
couple
on the
times a
volume.
day. Right, depending on the volume. So if I can turn, like say this 570, it's a great tight spread, only 20 cents apart. If I can make this 560 to 630, I'm out. I'm $70, $80. I'll do that 2 or 3 times and end up with 240, 250. I'm happy for the day.
I need to do that with 10 contracts, and I'll be happy for the day.
Yeah. 560 to 630, 620. If I can make 50, $60 off this, I'm happy. And that can happen in one candle, you know. So that's what I'll be looking at. The volume here is high, it has decent open interest, but the outlier is the volume that it has. It's a lot of vested interest and it's very tight. The 820 is too far apart. 725 and 855 is way too
Hell
far.
no, yeah.
So you don't want to touch that. The 930 is not bad. It's only 50 cents apart. The interest is not much better than the 20, but it's still tighter. And you get a 15-cent delta, so that's okay. This one, same here. The 840 actually I don't like because it's 80 cents apart. But yeah, 850, 800. 830, not too bad. That's the range I'll be looking at.
So I know the spread steered you off, but what about volume and interest? If does the spread throw you off before you look at volume and interest? Because even though it's a 80-cent spread, that volume and or which one I'm looking at? I'm looking at the 850 actually. Sorry, never mind.
850 is the best. 840,
Yeah.
like compared to 850 and 800, 840 is lacking. So that's why it's not, to me, it's not worth entering because it's not there.
Correct.
You
I
have
would, as you
quadruple
said, I would
value
look
here.
at the 850, and I mean, it just psychologically makes sense. People would
Right.
like 800, people like 850, people like 900, people like 950, and you
They
can
like
look
whole
at, I'm
numbers.
sure,
Right.
exactly, whole numbers, exactly.
Like whole numbers. And the first thing I look at really is volume. After volume, then I go to interest, then I go to spread. So this is what catches my eye first. What's sticking out? This 12 is sticking out from all this other stuff. The 8 sticks out. The 12 sticks out the most, but the 8 sticks out here. So I'm looking at that, and then from there I'll scale down to okay, how much interest, how much volume, what's the delta, and go from there. But yeah, this is what for small online. A big account, I'm gonna be looking at probably like the big account. I like the deltas that's in the 90s, but the problem
If
is
that Delta get to $1, boy, it's game over.
it was on Friday. It was a lot, but see, this is not worth it. I'm not gonna spend 17 grand. There's no interest here. It's not there. The 1100 has
Yeah, that 1100. I was gonna say, look at that 1100. That'll be your best bang for your buck.
yeah. This has
Plus risk.
somewhat, but it's still the spread is still kind of big though. But
Yeah.
when Tesla gets moving, this 16 will become 20 real quick. So real quick. But yeah, the 1050, it's okay. But yeah, 1050 actually might be best. You think 3,000, 1,400, 1,200, 14, So this is actually still very wide though, 400 apart. But once the market gets moving, this will get tighter. Yeah, this will get tighter. 1020 is not too bad. 1,000's even better. I might actually go with 1,000. That's about 210 apart. Now, once the contracts get this big, you're not gonna see a 50-cent spread. It's not gonna happen.
Absolutely.
You may get 100 if you're lucky, 200. Like this is like as close as you're gonna really get. It's not gonna get that much closer right now. Now, when the market gets moving, it will get closer. You may get $1 or even sub $1 sometimes. Most of the times, it's gonna be at least $100 apart at this level. But they move so quickly when you get those nice flushes, man.
You got to be on the right side of it though, because like I said, let's just say you're buying, call it 100 trades, and the spread's $200 apart or whatever. Like, yo, man, you're down like 20,000 as soon as your order fills.
Yeah, if you're doing like 100 contracts, something like that, you'll be down. So you got to make sure the movement and the liquidity is there on the move. And you like you said, if you follow the rules, you'll get it right. You'll be fine. 950 is not bad either.
Got another question, Sean. For when you fill in your orders, no matter whatever your price, your contract size is, when you're getting your orders filled, do you see yourself hitting more so the ask to get filled immediately, or do you wait until you get your price on the limit order?
No, I'll buy either the high mid, so not the mid, but a little bit higher than the mid, or even the ask. Because once Tesla starts jumping, the ask is going to go up $300-400 once it starts moving. So it really won't matter at that point.
I'm with you.
When you're out the money, that does make a big difference if you're buying the ask, because sometimes you can get caught up. But when you're in the money at the ask, once it starts going, it's gone.
I'm with you because for example, for me, for puts, typically the puts for me are obviously out of the money.
Right.
So it's just like I try to get like how Tesla. I was what was it, Thursday? I was only playing 1,000 calls and 1,000 puts. And because they both of them hold numbers and both of them were technically out of the money because Tesla was in range, but obviously the 1,000 puts, I was surprised that freaking the 1,000 puts went in the money by the end of the day, which is wild.
It's crazy. Once that 1,000, I think 1,004 was the pre-market high. Once that rejected it, it never came back. It was over. Could have held 1,000 all day if you want. I would never hold anything all day. That's just way too risky, especially with Tesla. You never know. But yeah, those thousands. One of my buddies, he held a 1020 put. He bought it in the money put at 1020, once it hit 1,004, and he held that for quite some time for that whole ride down to 951. And
Jesus.
he made like over 10 grand on that alone. So, but just using the strategy, he watched the market high, he sold 1,004 reject, and then once it fell below, once he saw VWAP was flushed, he bought. I don't think he bought here. He bought like here. Once that cross happened here at 939, he held the 1020 put like from here all the way to like here.
Legit.
He killed
Damn.
it. Yeah, but
That
he waited for
3-minute
that
candle,
cross.
I would have took profit, or at least had a runner left to see if it didn't reject.
Right.
All right, so I got a question right where you were just at. Right. So you see
Oh, here.
it came down those candles, right?
Hold
And then
on.
we had that big ass green candle that
Hold
would
on.
have probably
Here. Yep.
yeah, that big ass green candle that probably would have actually, I should have, even though if you would have held, you would have obviously you would have went back into profit or whatever, and or like broke even. But like with that green candle, like when are you, so let's just say you got in at the bottom, because you see the next candle did go lower, but then you got clipped on the next one. So if you were holding and that next candle started and starting shooting up, are you hitting sell market, sell bid? Like what are you doing?
Getting in this, I would have got in here right at the cross, same strategy, and I would have got out here because I have a support here. I have a 972 here, so I'm not holding past 972. I want to see it break clean past 972 first before I get in. So I would have gotten out probably here, 976, 975. I wouldn't even get into this because I see that this bounced. So until I see the next candle flush below here, I'm not touching it because number one, we're bottomed out. Once again, we're bottomed out. Here, we're kind of bottomed out too. The StochRSI is also at 26. So at that point, you're being greedy. You have all these indicators showing you that you've bottomed out. You've hit the support that just bounced. Your StochRSI is at 1.3. Your MACD is way down here. And your RSI is down here on the 3-minute.
You're right.
So
Jesus.
all the writing is on the wall for you, but to try to hold here, that's just pure greed, and I'm not gonna say stupidity, but it's greed.
Hey man, you call a spade a spade.
It's greed. You let this bounce again. Now it tried to bounce even on that long green candle. It did cross. It bounced. I want to see the EMA rejection. That's why I say I'm waiting for the next rejection. Here, I would got out here and wait for the next rejection. Here it is. Okay, I'm ready. Getting my puts ready. Boom. Back down. I'm back in.
Right now, looking at this next candle,
Yep.
when are you entering like on that next candlestick?
This one?
Yeah.
I see the rejection. I would enter probably right here. I would ride this down because it already broke the EMA.
What is that, about a quarter way down? Because I know that's not halfway
Once
down.
it broke the EMA9, which is here, I'm back in.
But you wouldn't be afraid that candle, since it's not complete yet, that it can reverse and keep going up?
This is not. It already went up. It was up. It went down. So I'm playing the rejection. So right here, I know that both VWAP and the EMA9 just rejected.
I probably would have been too scared to touch it because it was too close to VWAP for me.
Yeah, it rejected it. From here, I would have probably got out before it closed though, because once again that 972 is coming again. So I'm not gonna hold past here, but I'm gonna ride this back down. Now once this broke, I'm like, okay, we broke.
Wait a minute, I'm sorry, you got to slow it down for the slow people being me. All right, so back on this candle where you have entered at again, you would have gotten in once this candle went down. You'd say about like 25%.
Not even. Once it broke the EMA9, EMA9 is 983.
So as soon as it went right under there, that's when you're getting in.
I'm in and out before it closes. Yep.
Okay.
Might have been a 90-second trade, maybe 60 seconds, but I'm definitely taking advantage of that rejection.
I'm happy I'm recording this because I'm gonna watch this shit like 2-3 times again before Monday.
Because that's two VWAP rejections. That's a VWAP rejection here, and then again here. So at this point, we're going down. Now, once I see this break, I'm like, oh wow, great. I'm not in just yet. It flushed, it closed, great. We retesting. I wanted to touch that EMA9 again though. I want that's where the real money is made. Once it touches that line, whether it's VWAP, EMA9, EMA20, or 8, whatever you use, I want that touch. They gave me the touch. It broke that previous low. I'm in right here.
So
Right
what about the
again.
candles that get like they don't touch the VWAP line, but they get really close to it? Because remember I told you like me, Chris, and one of your guys, we were going like back and forth, like, nah, that's not an EMA rejection. And then the dude was just like, yo, if you're waiting for it to touch it, you're gonna miss out on a lot of your trades.
Yeah, let me see if I can find an example. Hold on. Sometimes the market is so weak that it won't touch. Like even here, that's not a touch. If
Yeah.
you look at that, but it's so weak, it didn't even get that far. It tried, it gave up. Here, that support, that rejection line was at 970 area, rejected. Try it again, touch the EMA. This time you got a full touch. That's perfect. Boom.
Correct. So, like as Steve was saying, just piggybacking off, like how I play EMA rejections, I go on to confirmation. So, going back to the same green candle we've been using, if it wasn't for your support line, like say I didn't have a support line, I've been focusing a lot on volume. So, looking how volume never broke your initial downtrend, as you can see, the 3 bars back, the volume was higher then your sell volume was higher than your buy volume on that push would have signaled to me a rejection, whether or not it's an EMA rejection or a VWAP rejection, a rejection was coming, just looking at volume. So for me, like I would have saw that, got confirmation on the candle that you're on, EMA rejection, got in on the second candle. However, this is despite not looking at your StochRSI and your RSI already being low. I would have watched volume again. Volume is consolidating, meaning there's going to be either more likely a bigger push downward if the next volume candle is higher and red, which is what it's done. So I play more conservatively. But again, that's what the cash account has done. It's like for me, it's like I can get in on a 3-minute candle, but I can't get out on that same 3-minute candle because the gains would be only $25, and I'm just like I just put up 500 for the risk. It's just like I only gained not even 10%.
No. If you put up 500 and you made $25, yo, you got your you got a 5% gain.
Not really. Like on this 3-minute candle, we fell $14 on this rejection.
On that rejection, but I'm saying if I didn't hold, going back again, saying because I'm saying like looking where your support line, just how the 3-minute just bounced up. And you would have got in on that 3-minute candle on the second candle. I say you would have to be. It would depend on your delta on your contract, in my opinion. And if you got out in 1-2 minutes, what was the
this was an $8
range on that?
This was a $8 move for me. I probably held for 4 of the 8, 4 or 5 of the 8. Yeah, 4 or 5. I mean, $5 move, and you got a. Let's look at the deltas here for this week, for example. Let's make believe this is Monday. So on this $5, $8 move, whatever it is, $8 here is $80 roughly, probably a little more because you're gonna increase, probably like 90. If you buy the 830 we're talking about, $8 puts you at $1.30, probably $1.50.
That's $15 per dollar move.
Right.
That's fine for me because if you got 10 contracts or whatever.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying, Steve. I don't have 10 contracts. I only have 1 contract.
I only got 1. So if I buy 1 of these and I turn 9, let's see, if I get it for 975, 980.
So you just risked $1,000 for, and you said what? How many was a $4 move? You risked $1,000 for $50.
This is an $8 move. I'm in for like $4.
You said you would have only wrote up for $4 though. You would have been in and out on the same candle.
Right.
Take the guaranteed money.
So $60. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like for me, it's hard to risk, and that's where I'm finding myself trying to fight the swing trader or the longer hold for confirmation versus scalping, because it's like again 10 grand, 1 contract. If I'm playing 1,000, I can play 10 times. That's sick. If I can take a $4 move on each one, that is technically $600 if I win all 10 contracts.
Right.
But, that's if you win all. You see what I'm saying? It's just like
I see what you're saying, but I mean,
to only get less than 10%, it's just like, fuck.
I mean, you got to be content. For me, I'm like I said, my goal is 5% bet, so I can make $50 here, $60 here, $80 here. At the end of the day, I got a couple $100. Yep. Even that move, you got $4. This move is a perfect move. You got
that move is a lot better.
$14 there. Even this move, from 91 to 71, $20.
Woo!
So I mean, the majority, if you're playing it on the true rejection like you want, like if you don't want to play this, you want to play a nice doji rejection, you can get some nice profit, whether big account or small. 20
Yeah.
bucks, 14 bucks. That's just two examples. It was some that's even better than that. Here's another one, another 10 bucks. So I mean, it's there. You just got to know what to look for.
Mm-hmm.
You look at volume. I don't look at volume as much per se. I'm looking at the rejection.
Yeah,
Looking
I'm
for
with
the
you. Yeah,
rejection
I've been
and
so
breaking the previous low. That's what I'm looking
gotcha.
for. That's it. But we'll do
All right,
whatever,
so
whatever you're comfortable with. But for me,
where
I'm
you
looking
at
for
where you're at right here, right?
yeah.
We'll use this as a prime example. All
Yeah.
right, so that one it went up to the EMA, it rejected, and you are entering below, like so on this candle, you're going to enter below the solid of where that previous green candle opened at
Correct.
originally.
Correct.
Okay.
I'm in like right here because it already broke. It broke my key support level already. We're hugging it here, trying fake pop, and then boom, we're done.
So
I'm
you still
riding it
would have
down
held
to
with that, even though your RSI is low. You're still you're borderline 20
right,
and below. So to
right.
me, I would have been like, a reversal can happen at any time at this point.
At this point, I'm holding it to my support line, which is
Okay,
right
I
here.
see. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm with you. You're holding it to your support line.
yeah. I got supports everywhere. Now
All
my
right.
Tesla card. I mean, if you look at my chart, it looks crazy with all these lines, but that's why I have so many. Because
Now
my
I'm the king of lines too, bro. That
yeah,
should help.
Yeah,
my
to me, it's
strategy.
just too much. It's too much noise for me.
It's not noise. It's money. For me, it's money. So from here, this line is here for a reason. This must have rejected or bounced before for me to make this line. I don't even remember what I made it. I made it at some point, but I'm riding this right before it hits. I'm not letting it close.
So as soon as that candle, like I said, it started coming back on. As soon as that candle goes from green to red, you enter, or you wait till it goes a little bit
I'm waiting
more.
for it to break my level and break this level. It broke it.
So soon as it broke the lowest part of that previous candle, then right?
Right. No, this support level here, it broke the support level.
Okay, you're
This
using that.
doji is BS. It's not going nowhere.
Yeah.
Once it's flush, this was a flush candle. Write
Okay.
it down especially once it broke that, really flushed, and just get out before it closes. Don't wait for this bounce. Because if you wait for
Yep.
this bounce, now your gains are gone.
Yep.
Get out before it's over. And then let it retest again. And even this was what? Another $9. Now you may say that's not a lot. Yes, the hell it is. In the Tesla world, $9 is huge. You went from 966 to 957. Now, in this case, our StochRSI is crazy low. But at this point, we're bottomed out. So I'm just playing rejections until I see this, which is right here. At this point, this is when you want to get out. You don't want to play with puts anymore. You want to let it. You want to
And
let
now
it.
we're chopped.
This is your last. This should be your last put play because you're already bottomed out. You're already bottomed out across the board. So even this you could consider risky if you want to. But for me, I see the rejection happen again, 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 and yet one more time, I'm out now.
Now,
One
here's a
more time.
question.
Yeah.
So go back to that. Yeah. Okay. Wait a minute. To that last full candle you were on before we got to that chop.
This one?
No. Go three
This
more
one?
candles over.
This one?
Okay. So now, if you look at that next candle after that one, like
Mm-hmm.
I probably would have wanted to enter because now that candle went below where the previous candle was. So now, besides the StochRSI, because I would be breaking that rule, what else am I doing wrong here?
You're bottomed out. The first doji is your first tell. That means that we're bouncing now. We're curving. So when you see this
What I'm
1,
saying,
2,
like
3, it's no flush. Why would
no,
you
no,
want
no,
it to a flush?
no. The part where I'm confused at, right? So you look at the previous candle and then you look at this doji candle or whatever. At some point,
It went down.
It went lower. So I would
Right.
go, all right, we're still going down. Let me get in this tree. How can I
No.
prevent that?
For me, once this flush is over,
Yeah.
I'm gonna sit and wait because I know I'm already playing with fire.
You're already playing with fire because the
I'm
start
already playing with fire. Yeah, like I said, even entering this, you could consider risky. But like I said, because it was already at the EMA, I'm gonna play the rejection and ride it down for a couple dollars.
Gotcha.
At this point, you see you're bottomed out. Your RSI is at what, 26 again, 21. Everything is too low.
Your RSI is completely oversold.
Yeah, you're way too low. So at this point, it's only a matter of time before it comes back. You can be
B2
greedy
can
and
be.
hold it if you want to, but once, especially after you see that first doji, you're like, okay, we're coming back. And at this point, another point is, if you look at your EMAs, they're all aligned now. There's no more crossing to do. The
Yep.
9 is bottomed out, the 20 is bottomed out, the 50 is bottomed out, the 70 and the 200. That's what I'm using on Webull. But they're all aligned, so they have to commence or try to converge again at some point. They're not going to stay apart forever.
Yep.
That's not how the market works. They're going to converge again, and just wait for that conversion. Here it is. Now, at this point, somebody may say, okay, we've bottomed out. Let's go calls. You can if you want to. You could have rolled this. I would have, if you wouldn't want to buy calls here, you can. I wouldn't. I'm just waiting for the next drop. But for the person who wants to chase the tops and the bottoms, you can buy that 951 bottom and ride it up to VWAP if you want to. For me,
That's what this dude did in one of the other discords we followed. This young cat, he college kid, but he is really good. He gets like 25% returns on like each one of his trades on average. Or whatever. Yo, he called out Tesla at hold on, I can actually
probably here. It was an easy call. I mean, you can see this bottomed out
right around there.
Yeah, it's bottomed out. It's got to go up. It's got to.